Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Thinking and Driving. It is still Wednesday, April 14th. Speaking of that, a very important update regarding the podcast itself. Hold on. I forgot how to drive all of a sudden and put my car in the wrong gear. Anyways, that's the beauty of thinking and driving. You get to witness my great driving abilities. Anyway, just a quick maintenance. I guess I lied in the first episode, the pilot / first episode. I said something that I changed my mind on immediately upon finishing it, which was that I would be basically driving and recording for that entire day, and then putting everything together, and that all of those parts will come out the next day as an episode. I changed my mind about that. Moving forward, every single time that I'm driving, that is a new episode. I like it better because for multiple reasons, including the fact that it will keep the episodes shorter. Sometimes even if you're enjoying something, sometimes it can be a little bit too long. That's really the main reason. But the second reason is also because it just allows me to kind of, I guess, put things out a little faster, and it won't be old news anymore. So that being said, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button to ensure that you get you get some notifications when a new episode comes out, instead of assuming that let's just wait till next week or whatever, next day, and that's it. And also, if you have any feedback, any suggestions, anything at all, please feel free to send an email to thinkingdriving@gmail.com. There's no end in between, just thinkingdriving@gmail.com. Maybe I'll read your question while recording or whatever the case may be. But I want everybody to be engaged and involved. And by the way, you can disagree with me, and we'll, I guess, have a debate. It won't be live or anything like that. But I'm not against people disagreeing with me. As I said in the last episode, everyone is entitled to an opinion. Just don't think that opinion is the only opinion. That's pretty much what it comes down to. So anyway, back to the topic. If you noticed, or maybe you didn't, this is me leaving work on Wednesday, April 14th. So that means that I was listening, or at least attempting to do my best at listening to the Derek Chauvin case. So my brief update on that is that pretty much all day long they've been the witness for the defense has been Dr. David Fowler, who's a forensic something. He's a forensic something. He's a doctor of pretty much like looking at, like, it's some medical thing, looking at autopsies and things like that. So anyway, so the defense was questioning him pretty much all day, and the gist of it is that it was very confusing, to be honest with you. And again, I'm not taking sides. It's just that I think the way that the defense presents things, it can get a little bit confusing and convoluted, because obviously they're trying to show that George Floyd passed away from other conditions, from heart disease, from drugs, etc. And the gist of Dr. Fowler's testimony was that, yeah, he did. He had an enlarged heart, and he didn't die of I have a very hard time saying that word, asphyxiation. He pretty much, honestly, he said he died he died from so many different things, was the gist of it. There was even a part of they spent a good 15 to 20 minutes talking about how he could possibly have died from since George Floyd's face was on the ground, kind of very close to the police car's exhaust, the tailpipe, that he possibly could have also have died from carbon monoxide. And they spent a very good amount of time on those questions. But at the same time, they also made it very clear that he's not suggesting that he died from carbon monoxide, just that's a possibility, which is, that's what the defense is supposed to do, just put some doubt, place doubt into the jurors' minds. This is up to the prosecution to prove that he's guilty. The defense just has to, put that doubt in one of the jurors' minds that's gonna hold up the verdict at some point. So I can't blame him for that, but it was a little bit ridiculous to spend that large amount of time on something to eventually say, just to be clear, you're not saying that, that was the cause of death. So it gets a little bit confusing at times. Obviously, I'm not a lawyer. So that's obviously some type of strategy or tactic or whatever you want to call it. But I don't know. It also seems to be a waste of time, because as I was watching, by the way, I watch it on ABC News Live stream. That's the one that I use. And during little breaks, or when there's, and the anchor questions lawyers and things like that, or questions the person from ABC News that's outside of the courtroom that has, info about the jurors. And it comes out that throughout this entire questioning of this witness, Dr. Fowler, jurors were, visibly not interested. I believe they said one of the jurors may have fallen asleep. They were looking at their hands or twiddling their thumbs or whatever. Just, and then you could tell that, or at least that's what the news people said, that as soon as the judge would say, let's take a break or let's have a sidebar, kind of the jurors would pep up, like, okay, yeah, this is good. We need a break now. This is we're bored. So that's what I got out of that. So that's what the defense that's the defense witness. That's they did their thing. That's fine. And then when I left work, prosecution was cross-examining him, and as far as I heard so far, up to this point, they're pretty much the prosecution. In this case, I think the lawyer's name is Jerry Blackwell. He's doing a really good job at having Dr. Fowler pretty much walk back a lot of the things that he has said. The parts that I could remember, which is not much at the moment, is things like he admitted that at some point Derek Chauvin or any of the police officers should have gave George Floyd some type of CPR. Not just whether you agree that, meaning him, Dr. Fowler, whether he agrees that he did not die from the knee on the neck, that he died from something else. He should have at least at some point gotten off of him and gave him CPR. He got him to agree to admit that he's again, apologize for this. He's a forensic, whatever the title is, but not a forensic pathologist, which is someone who knows about these conditions, about the lungs and the heart and breathing and things of that nature. So I think that was very good. That was as far as the what do you call it? As far as the prosecution side is concerned, the cross-examination, they're doing a good job at bringing out certain information, or basically having him take back some of the things that he has said, because it makes no sense. By the way, the reason I keep stuttering and things like that is because I am obviously driving, so I need to concentrate on the roads. I think the road and getting to where I need to get is a little bit more important than me expressing myself. Anyway, along the same lines, I'm assuming by now most of you have heard about the shooting of, well, not the shooting, the killing. It is a shooting, sorry, but the killing of Daunte Wright in Brooklyn Center, Minneapolis, which is, from what I understand, is about 30 minutes away from the courtroom where Derek Chauvin is being tried for murder or manslaughter or the other charges. So on Sunday, whatever day Sunday was, Daunte Wright, he was pulled over for having an expired registration, and according to the dash cam footage that was released, they asked him to get out the car. He got out of the car, and then I'm sorry, let me take that back. He got pulled over for expired registration. They took his information as they normally would. The cops went back to the police car to look up his name and whatever other information they may be, they deemed necessary in order to proceed. They found out that they found out that he had a warrant for his arrest. My understanding was he had a warrant for his arrest, and I may be wrong, for not showing up in court, because he was found with an illegal firearm. That's what I think it is. So anyway, so they go back to the police car. They ask him to step out of the car. He steps out of the car. In my opinion, at some point, well, they start trying to handcuff him. I think he realizes, hey, I don't want to get arrested and go to jail. So he starts pretty much resisting arrest. He attempts to get back into his car. And at some point, there were 3 police officers. The one that was actually making the arrest, there was a female police officer, which is the view of the dash cam, and then there was also a sergeant on the passenger side of the car. The reason I bring that up is because the dash cam view, the female police officer, her name is Kim Potter. I'm assuming that's how you say her name, Potter. Kim Potter. You can hear her saying over and over, she like she's saying she's gonna tase him. Taser, taser, taser. She keeps saying it over and over. And by the way, as I'm watching it myself, I was a bit confused because I've seen in videos, not in real life, I've seen in videos what the taser looks like, and she was obviously not holding a taser in her hands. She was holding her gun in her hand. So the entire time that she's saying taser, 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 which is basically she's telling her fellow police officer, back up, because I'm going to tase him, and I don't want you to, I don't want to tase you by mistake. So she's saying taser, 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 and then she presses the trigger, and at that very moment, Daunte, he drives away in his car, and you see she goes, "Oh shit, I shot him," and everybody's confused, like, what are you talking about? You said taser, and then that's where the dash cam video ends. So all that is to explain that a couple of things. One, obviously that's not good. Derek Chauvin is on trial for the murder of George Floyd, and I know people don't like to talk about this. A white policeman, kills a black man, and tensions are high. This is pretty much the reason why the whole BLM movement, ramped up lately, and as whatever you want to call it, peaceful protests, riots, whatever you want to say. The point is that they want change, and now this in the same state, 30 minutes away, and a white female police officer shoots a black teenager. So, by the way, Daunte Wright was 20 years old. So it's just not good for anybody. And then doesn't make it any better that when was it? Yesterday, I believe it was. There was a press conference. It may have been Monday. I don't remember. With the chief of police, and his answers to the community activists and to the reporters were pretty much very unacceptable. And due to that, now the latest update, which, by the way, he stated, he told people, he told the press basically during that interview, it was obviously an unfortunate mistake, which obviously it's a mistake just for him to say that, in my opinion, because there's still an investigation. That's not up to him. The way that it works in Minnesota, and I don't know how it works in every state, but the way that it works in Minnesota is that once there's like a deadly thing like this, like Floyd or Wright, then the police department steps back and a different state agency takes over the investigation. That way that, there's no real, police involvement from that department to taint the situation. So an update is that, at least as of today, I don't know if it's as of yesterday, but as of today, the chief of police has resigned, and the police officer, Kim Potter, the one that actually shot Daunte Fowler, has also resigned, and she's being charged with second-degree manslaughter. To be 100% honest with you, I have to think about it. I don't know how I feel about the situation. Multiple reasons. One, Daunte Wright got pulled over for a legitimate reason. He was being arrested for a legitimate reason. I want to be clear. I don't care what anybody does. No one deserves to get shot and killed or die in any way. So please understand that. That is not what I'm saying in any way. All I'm saying is that the stop itself was legitimate, and then at the same time, officer or ex-officer Potter she obviously, in my opinion, she obviously made a mistake. She pulled the wrong weapon. However, that is not in any way an excuse, because in my opinion, if you are a police officer and you are trained and all of that other thing, all of those other factors, you should not, you have people's lives on the line, and you should not make these mistakes. These are mistakes that are unacceptable. You cannot make them. You can't get away with these mistakes. You can't say, oops, I shot him, I chose the wrong weapon, okay, I'm going to resign now and everything's okay, goodbye. You know, that's just not how it works. You took somebody's life. There has to be some type of repercussion. So, you know, that's why I mean by I don't know how I feel about it. I got to think about it a little bit more. You know, yes, Daunte Wright got pulled over because he did something wrong. He was getting arrested because he did something wrong, but he should not be dead. He should not be dead at all. Just like George Floyd, he did do something wrong, but he should not be dead. There's limits to these things. So anyway, I am at my next stop. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode of Thinking and Driving. Once again, don't forget to email me at thinkingdriving@gmail.com, and soon we'll have some social media links for you for everyone to get in touch with me in different ways. Thanks again. Bye-bye.